great?
Do you hide it with a hot hiding?
I do have noisemakers. Great. There are lasers there now. I hope they're not the murder lasers.
All lasers.
Oh, you rely on that.
No, you know.
There's no such thing as a non-murder laser.
Like maybe they're like video cameras. Like maybe they'll just be like alert instead of destroying my body.
I'm pretty sure they will not be.
Maybe they're wavelengths.
Well, ironically, bright red lasers are actually some of the least lethal lasers there are.
Is he looking in the pot?
Oh no!
Yes! Oh! Get him the hell out of here!
Oh, that's a gun on the wall.
I haven't even met that guy yet.
I'm sorry, but that was hilarious. I'm home free, Gatling gun.
Also, he threw like. Does anyone else want to play this now?
Well, actually, I thought this might be a good chance to introduce Nick Taylor.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. So, Nick Taylor from oh darn it, I am so blanking. North Carolina? Yeah. University, and you're visiting campus. Thank you for coming down and hang out with us. And you've played some of this game. Well, you played.
I haven't gotten as far as this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is all new to me. I didn't know there were lasers. No. I was trying to think. So I picked this game and Antichamber, which are both independent games, and I was trying to think. I didn't know I had to have a rationale for picking them.
No, you didn't really, but
they both sound a little sexier than I'm still playing Skyrim. so I was trying to think kind of after the fact, and this is a really bad habit for an academic of coming up with a rationale after the fact as to why you do something.
People not
what's that?
supposed to do that.
Yeah. Shit. Why did I take that job?
I gotta go.
What am I doing here? And I was playing with the idea. I mean, intertextuality is obviously an obvious, like it's an okay starting point, right? And we saw that like as soon as I think Todd walked in the room, he's like, "This isn't Metal Gear Solid." And so I think there's the stealth genre or like this game can't exist without Metal Gear Solid. And I think what were you saying, the developers? Thief. But I think what's really interesting, and I only want to dabble in this a second before I get to the real kind of interesting thing about it. What's interesting to me about indie games, and I wonder if this is true with you guys, is that it seems like when indie games do intertextuality, it's like framed as like a love letter to canonical texts, not canonical games, right? Like Indie Game the movie has that nice little bit where they're comparing Super Meat Boy visually to Super Mario Brothers, and it's like this designer, you want to get behind his vision of a hardcore platform game that does away with all of the the bullshit that typical Call of Duty game, like typical games nowadays do, and go back to like a pure gaming experience, right? This is like all the indie game movement we're led to believe is about. It's finding pure play experiences, and I think we kind of give them a little more leeway in terms of intertextual appropriation than we would say commercial game devs, where they're like, this is just derivative. Right, so it's funny that in terms of like, and it kind of speaks to like the political economy and the ideology of both, like commercial game development versus indie game development. Where on one hand, we're willing to look at it as loving appropriation, and on the other hand, we look at it as like cynical derivation and borrowing. You know what I mean? So I don't know. There just seems to be a kind of discursive difference there between what we allow indie game developers to get away with versus.
Well, one possibility is that we do see that in commercial games, but we call them genre conventions in that situation.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but I am also wondering if there's an economic reason, because when you're a AAA space, the one common denominator I would assume from the phrase AAA is large budget.
Yeah,
and you're kind of under pressure to, at least subconsciously, if not completely deliberately, trying to attract an audience which may not be familiar with previous texts.
Right.
Whereas for an indie game, because your budget's not that large, you have a much clearer idea of this is the specific audience I'm going for.
Yeah.
That may be fans of an existing or existing series of games.
Yeah, I mean it's interesting there because there's a kind of a criticism I think in game studies, a kind of a murmur in game studies that. And it comes from a kind of a gender criticism, like a gender-based criticism that game designers are always designing games for themselves, right? Or for like like what we were talking about yesterday with the Google folks even, right? When they want to do user testing, they bring in a bunch of people like them, right? So I don't know. I think there's an element of truth to that. Yeah. But I wanted to kind of lay aside the intertextuality thing for a second and leave it as maybe an afterthought, and think of this more in terms of this is a question that I always ask of games now, ever since I did some work on the Halo 3 competitive gaming community. And in fact, team-based first-person shooters played competitively in general always have this thing where you're dealing in first-person shooter games with what's always a limited field of vision, right? There's no such thing in games as perfect vision, right? Unless, even in God games, there's the fog of war, and so I was trying to, like, in my work on Halo 3, I called it kind of verbal screen looking, right? Some of the techniques that teams use to compensate for the limited field of vision is like communication between players, right? And so now that I did that work, I'm always aware of the ways that player vision is curtailed in what are commonly seen in kind of mainstream analyses as metaphors of perfect vision, when in fact they're totally not. They're never. You never have an all-seeing player, or like games are like the challenging games comes from what you don't see as often as what you can see, right? So I think with in terms of looking at it from what do you see in this game, I think this is really interesting because you have a three-dimensional stealth game that's reduced to 2 dimensions, and so you have all sorts of ways of seeing that are given to the player that are non-visual, like that are auditory, or that are, or ways of seeing that, like ways of seeing footsteps, for instance. Yep. So it's almost kind of synesthetic experience of vision. And what it turns into is kind of, like the ninja is like a human periscope, right? Like even like, the peeking out of the vents thing, right? It's like, you've got no business peeking out of that vent and not being seen, and yet you're not seen. And so what I think is really interesting, and I think there's always a gendered aspect to the power to see, right? So I think what's really interesting about this game, it's a ninja game, you're a freaking ninja, and so like you're tattooed, you're placed within this ascetic tradition of like, bodily discipline, male-dominated cult as you see through the cutscenes. And yet, when you fail, you're chided by a female voice, right? Or you're led along by like a kind of disembodied female voice that becomes an embodied female ninja at key moments. And so I kind of read this game for all of its fun as a real kind of masculinist metaphor of vision, where you're basically a human periscope. You've got all the powers of vision laid out for you. And when you as a player screw it up, it's like you're messing up the instrument, and so you're going to get chided. And we were all chiding you when we're like, oh, stupid ninja, right? Because you have, like, your player has all the apparatus, or your character has all the apparatuses laid out for them in terms of executing perfect kills. And so if you can't perform, then that female voice is going to chide you, or the people in the room are going to chide you. And I think it's a really interesting kind of, Haraway talks about the god tricks, So I think this, and I encourage everyone to view that work situated knowledges instead of listening to me. But she has this notion of, male-dominated science is all about seeing without being seen, right? And so in this sense, this kind of becomes a metaphor. I see the ninja here as a metaphor for the god trick, right? There's this tremendous pleasure in seeing without being seen. Versus, and I think this might be a good time, unless anyone has any reservations and really wants to play this, to load up Antichamber, because it plays with vision in totally different ways. And I think, has anyone played Antichamber yet? It's like you cannot trust your sight, right? It's constantly trying to confound your sight. And so here you have a game where it's all about, your vision is actually kind of perfect because you have all these powers of perception and powers of seeing that are superhuman and that are given to you as a player. But I think in Antichamber, which is, the first-person shooter game messed up in all sorts of ways, you've got, like, you cannot trust your sight. And in fact, it constantly tries to, like, play with your visual expectations. And so I think, I don't know.
We can switch out. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I mean,
I'm not playing it. I hate that game. Someone else wants to go for it.
Well, I mean, how about just like another 5 minutes of this, because it might make sense to like just see how this game plays out. Now having that discussion.
Yeah, because I mean, I see this game as basically a series of puzzles that you have to work out first in terms of compromising enemy sight with your own extended powers of perception.
Right.
And then if you don't execute, it's not about your character not being good enough. It's about you as a player not being good enough. It's a game that really rewards virtuosity and challenges you to be as good as your ninja.
So, who's taking over the control?
I'll take it.
All right.
Right.
Go, Rick, go, Rick.
I can tell you after that whole speech, the answer is no.
You know, Nick, just hearing you talk about sort of the perfection of vision, what's interesting about this is that it's almost sort of like an intersectional model of subjectivity, where there's kind of, it's not necessarily that the player has like an objective mastery of everything that's there.
No.
But sort of when they get a subjective window onto another subject, they can kind of assume, okay, here's their vision cone, here's what they can do.
Which is why I think, like, that's why I call the ninja the human periscope, right? Because it's basically like, it's, he's your tool to see everything you need to see.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because the model here is of one that's like, this ninja is so badass and so good at his job that he can just look at a guard and instantly know how much sensory perception that guard has. But in another developer's hands, I mean, this could be interpersonal empathy as information visualization, because that's really what it is being able to project one person's
right.
This happens to be a super masculine ninja game.
Yeah.
I totally want the stealth game where you're a teenage girl and you have to make it through the click-based.
Oh god, no, it's been made already, I think. The old Purple Moon, was it Rabbit's first? The game where you're a girl and you have to. I have the box art.
Yeah.
You have to navigate the clicks and
Oh really?
Oh yeah, it's like the lockers. Yeah, I can send around the box art for you.
A student at NC State had the idea of making a stealth game where you're a dog and you have to avoid, like, basically, like you're a stray dog and you have to avoid.
Haven't you seen? There is a The Dog's Life where it's all scent based.
Oh really?
Yeah, it's an old PS2 game. We played it. I don't know if
really?
Yeah. It's like it's like your whole world is bound by scent, and you have to sort of navigate. Yeah.
I need to see that because we're talking about doing an iPad game.
I think it was called The Dog's Life.
Or a Dog's Day or something. I think we have it installed.
We wanted to call it
18.4 hours.
But if it's already been done, then
no, do it again and call it that for sure.
Okay, sweet. But yeah, it's basically like you color in the world by like keying on things.
Yeah, that's what this is. Yeah.
I'm so happy it's been made. I'm so happy for those people.
You can't blow up.
So you were mentioning about the idea of perfect vision and how you don't think it exists in games, I guess, or I don't know if that's the right way to put it, but I tend to think of games like chess or Go as being games with perfect vision in terms of the player is always aware of what's going on in the game. Like, you can see the entire field easily.
Yeah.
But I guess I don't know if I guess the idea of you don't necessarily know how it will unfold is like the imperfection of the vision there.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
it's like,
I mean, that's a good point. Like, I didn't think of it in terms of board games.
well, I mean, puzzle games also have this.
Board games.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting.
Left trigger.
Other than your opponent's mind.
Well, that's the fog, right? Exactly.
I don't know.
That's the darts.
I mean,
The other button.
Close that door.
Yeah, it's not like.
Because, like, for
18.4 power's almost back on.
Yeah.
like, there's part of it that is insane.
I do love that voice acting very much sounds like
the thing that you
a
have to figure
guy.
out how to do. So.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing professional sounding about it at all. It's just like a guy on Skype. Did you say these lines?
Okay.
Sure.
I like the music. I think it's actually very catchy.
Yeah.
Although I do feel like some Samoan with like 2 fire sticks is gonna come out of nowhere and start spinning them around. Kill him!
There it
Kill
is.
him! Kill him!
Kill.
Oh, what did you guys do?
You have to be polite.
What the hell is wrong with you?
He's a 0 foot.
Oh, whoa.
Oh no!
No, no,
Don't walk into this.
See, if you had left the door open.
This is hard.
I'm pretty sure that. How do you pull people down? Oh, you do
84,
have
power's
to
almost back on.
assassinating people through that thing.
You can shoot multiple lamps at once. Too.
Yeah, I was sort of unclear on
You can
that.
mark multiple targets with your chopsticks. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, you're tough.
Oh, that would have been really useful.
Where was this
You like
10
that
minutes
withholding?
ago? Damn it.
Can you destroy those things?
I don't think so. Assassinate that bitch. Oh.
Well, the
Well, now he's never going away.
I mean, he can switch between hiding places really quickly.
Is it like it's like Gears of War?
You're winning.
No, not over there, genius.
Now it becomes a war of attrition. Wait for their shift to be
Can you
over.
toss it into that room?
Yeah, exactly.
No, they've got to hear it.
We'll be ready in 10
If
hours.
the guy on the right doesn't hear it, then there's no point.
Maybe the guy on the left hears it, and he's like, "Hey, guy on the right, this weird noise."
You just gotta get the guy on the right to be in like the edge of the. He has to be flashing yellow, otherwise he's
Kind of
not
looks
gonna
like
hear
a if it was yellow instead of blue, it looked really.
I need him to look that way and go that way.
Yeah, see, they both hear it. Yeah.
Nice, nice. Oh, but.
That is a suspicious plant.
How do you grapples?
Right bumper.
Laser, laser!
I see the laser.
I wonder if you could
It's
just.
very Lilo and Stitch.
Can you now?
Yeah, nice.
The laser's
Nice.
Just open the door, genius.
Remember to close it afterwards. Close the door.
Well, it's funny about that point because I mean Henry Jenkins has made that argument about taking over space, right?
Yeah.
Especially in the context of
Did you
when
go?
we were talking about classic platformers
Oh,
or video
yeah.
games.
I
you
think
know.
you do.
Whereas
You sure?
I feel like you're extending that argument to just being able to see space. It's
Oh,
itself a
interesting.
kind
Right.
of control.
As a mastery, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where he came in.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Go up, always go up.
Oh, well now you have to kill yourself.
There's a map that shows you roughly where you're going.
Yeah, it's the back button.
You're almost there. Just jump down again.
But this time it's not.
Aha.
You're almost at the roof.
Turning the power back on for 19.
Oh.
This is not gonna be
No,
good.
what, no, 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 no.
No.
I'm in a corner. You can't see me.
One.
Oh,
Hey, guy! What's up, guy? How you doing?
Wake up!
Tell me about the Rambo skin, Biff.
Okay.
I love the traumatic marking.
Checking it out.
Watch out, they can take a lot of kung fu.
Yeah. You must have kung fu'd one of those things for like an hour.
I'm not actually sure you can even take them out.
Oh no!
They never did that before.
That was hilarious.
They're
The guards on the
learning.
next.
Yeah, you're closer to the roof. These are
A little bit smarter guards.
these guards had a better GPA in guard school. On the other hand, the chopsticks do not work on the guards.
Oh. That's a quick time. But
If you get a really imperfect kill, it says peasant kill, which I love.
Really?
Peasant kill.
very classist of it.
Yeah, totally.
Poor people kill.
Oh, that's how you kill them with Kung Fu. You have to knock them down first, and then you stab them.
Yes.
That's
You must stab them though, Rick.
I live in
Worried
more
about going
legs.
home with her now.
I would like to. He's using the shadows.
He's using the shadows.
Whoops. I still don't understand how that quick timing thing happened.
yeah.
I think you do it simultaneously,
Yeah.
not.
But you
Not
can't.
one and then the other.
Like you can't. You don't see the arrow when you're hitting X.
Yeah.
You only see the arrow.
It's X and then a direction.
Yeah, X to initiate, and then it's yeah.
So you hit X twice.
Yeah, I think it's X to initiate,
Well, it's
and then
X,
X
and then
again,
you hit
and
the
X
arrow.
directions.
And then you hold both of those simultaneously.
Yeah.
Which feels just like slicing somebody's throat with a katana.
A big X-shaped katana.
There you go.
Raiden, use blade mode to kill assassin. I think that guy's voice is strong.
Oh, interesting.
Oh!
Nicely done.
That was well managed.
I'll be voting for you at the ninja awards.
Whatever, they're a sham.
Lynn, don't shoot again.
It's all politics.
Reflect such fear in the eye. Did I hear something? Oh, Tetsuki's brave.
Yeah, the narrator. Good job, genius.
Can you take out the
They're
power?
called ninjas for a reason, fool.
I wish all dialogue in this game was in haiku form. A little bit more realistic.
Oh, there she is.
Really haiku, right?
Where were you all this time?
It's a form.
Cool.
Nice job.
Nice job.
Good segue.
This way.
Now you jump down.
Wait, but I just spent so much time climbing up.
Just leave me on the bottom.
My work.
Oh, total honor.
Maybe that's the ones that you left alive. Okay, alright, so...
Not our progress.
Is it saving? Is it doing the saving thing? Okay, okay.
Give to a friend. Nice.
Who would like to play Antichamber? I guess I would strongly recommend someone who's never played it before.
I've never played it before. I would like to.
Come on down.
Yeah, exactly.
This is. Oh.
Sorry in advance.
I really liked it.
Yeah, I liked Antichamber too.
It
Made me feel stupid. So
Oh, we've got a wireless adapter hooked up.
Because I would like to be using controllers with best of the others.
they're like $40 on Amazon.
That's weird. You kind of went into this weird...
Well, the real problem
went
is
into
all
the
the
big
stuff
screen
I play
mode,
on
that's
the
sweet.
computer.
Yeah, but
Oh, really?
you're now in some sort of weird hang...
I was playing Guild Wars 2 for a bit and trying to figure out how you can map an MMO to...
Oh, there we go.
That would be really awesome,
Yeah.
actually. Especially because I don't do that whole. I can use 1 through 5.
What do you? What exactly?
Crown hands! I can do 1 through 5. I can do 1 through 5
Yeah.
fine, but once you get over to like 6 through 0.
Yeah, I have
Yeah,
mine
no.
down here. 1 through 5, and then the others.
Oh, really?
You might want to create a new game, actually.
I just make sure I only use two
So,
skills.
turn to right.
Okay, I have in
Click-
fact
click
referred
that.
to playing WoW as piano catting your way through a fight.
This is a hateful being who did this.
Are you sure?
Yeah, yes.
Rick?
I wonder if you've just done it.
Click here to
Huh?
delete your
No,
save
news
game
on
and
the
restart.
key.
Okay.
No news on the key now. Did you need it for this
The save
weekend?
game, yes.
No.
Alright, fine.
Just
If you look on the left,
I need
no,
the
all those
PS3
things shouldn't be there.
Alright.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, that's
all
gonna be
these
fine. That'll
things
be at my
should be
desk.
here?
Yeah.
Which
And
things
all
should
those, so all these things are like marks of your progress,
These
but
things?
they shouldn't be there. So we need to actually delete you.
Maybe you have to.
Oh, this is going to be a nausea-inducing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm such a whim. I got nauseous.
Oh.
There we go.
with
I think I
Windows
was
last
not
night.
close
That's
enough
like
to
so
click it.
pathetic.
Have you played a slower speed of light, TL?
Oh.
I was seeing colors for this.
Oh.
I walked out and it was a bright day. I'm like, oh my god.
What's that one?
I'm a baby.
That's slower
The
speed.
Game Lab one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's our the speed of light slows down as
The
you
award-winning,
Our award-winning,
award-winning,
motion
critically
sickness inducer.
acclaimed. Yeah, absolutely.
Sure.
Nick, would the presence of a
Sounds
a
good.
cake in this game be another sign of intertextuality?
Maybe. I don't know what it would be though.
This is very Portal Wave, isn't it?
It totally is. It totally is. But it's like even more stripped down than Portal.
Is it? Are you playing? Is this actually now the game?
This is
Yeah.
now
Jump, dear
game.
Lord.
Don't
go
jump.
into the red.
Don't jump. Oh yeah.
Probably
Oh.
bad.
Actually go into the red.
Can I jump? It says jump. I should jump.
They told you to jump, Owen.
Ah!
Oh,
No good way to me.
Oh.
To the end.
Yay.
Oh, I can't get to the end.
It wants some sort of like make something unreal.
Oh god.
This guy won all the awards.
Who is this guy? Who is this?
Alexander Bruce. He submitted to all of the festivals and won all of them.
Failing to succeed
this?
does not mean failing to
He's
progress.
working on this for a long while. I think
Years, right?
did it start off as
They
Hazard?
really should make a
Yeah.
version of this where Alan McLean.
It started out as
reads
I think his
all
first
Like
was
all
an
the
indie
things.
fun
What's
competition like 2 or 3 years ago.
Okay.
Where Alan McLean reads
And
all
yeah.
those signs.
He was
This
at
is
the
some seriously
I first saw
badass
this at
shader
the
programming.
Mega Booth at PAX.
Oh,
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
But he had been working on
Some
it for 2
parts
years
are
prior
clearer
to
than
that.
others.
Yeah. By the way, so this will be my first PAX East. So like, if there are
Oh, that's
tips, I'm happy to hear them.
Don't
Camera
tell.
on? Yeah.
Okay,
Exactly.
does anybody have a particular vote? Would we prefer to go down?
Red pill.
Red pill! Oh god!
Neither.
That's cool.
Refuse the choice.
It's the
Then
choice.
then the Reapers win, Nick. Jeez.
Oh, I haven't played it yet.
I think this is an Australian developer.
Yeah.
Pretty sure, yeah.
Oh really?
No,
Yeah.
From
Walk
Perth.
into the white bar. I agree
Yeah.
with Nick.
Back
Next
to-
time you're back there.
Back to the
So
white
we're-
bar.
Walk into the
We're
white
at
bar.
station-
No, what is it? What is the
We're
sign? The
at,
sign actually does say something like refuse the choice.
Terminal 12 and a
And
half.
it says,
Like that's gonna
a
take
choice
us to
may
the-
be as simple as going left or right.
We're going back.
Oh,
Yeah, do it
back
too.
to red.
Yeah, there you go.
Go to
No problem.
Okay.
Blue. Wait,
Why
what
are
about
you
this
not
one?
walking into the white bar? I'm telling you.
No, yeah.
You sure?
Yeah, that's
Into the white bar?
It's like a platform.
Keep on doing
Okay,
it.
okay, I just wanted to check.
Push hard!
Shoot it.
He's not going to Hogwarts. So
Click all the pixels.
Stab it with your katana.
Yeah, maybe there's a pixel that I need to click on. That's true.
Bamboo darts.
Yeah, there's actually
What? Really?
Okay.
a lot of escape games.
Just need to find the
What's that?
raw
This
chicken.
reminds me a lot of escape games.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Not in gameplay.
Oh.
Just in, like,
Oh, there's
Oh,
more stuff
there you
going
go.
on.
Here's a
The
room.
choice doesn't matter if the outcome is the same.
Huh.
no.
Okay.
Wait, what did that one say?
So we went. Oh, that was the same as last time.
Oh, it was the
So
same.
we went through
Yeah.
blue, and it took us to somewhere different.
Did it?
Yes.
Yes, it did because we had 2 signs.
Now go through red.
Okay, now go red. Whoa.
Uh-huh.
Is the outcome the same? Just maybe someone's going left or right.
How turn around?
That's the same, yeah. Those are the same.
Oh, turn around. Oh, it's green!
Oh, nice.
When you return where you've always been, things aren't always going to be as remembered. Oh. Okay, that's exciting.
Okay, I'll be
Do we
saying this
win?
in my nightmares.
I think we all lose.
Hit the button.
Some choices are just running around.
Wow.
I just want to escape.
I
Fine.
was trying to tell you something. Yeah.
You sadistic
Sing,
asshole.
go here.
Is this the abusive
Fine.
game?
That's
Walk.
not
What?
Walk.
No.
Just go straight. Indiana Jones style.
Yeah, just
Okay,
walk.
go.
Just believe.
Watch.
Could have used
Keep
the
in the
walk
center, keep in the
button.
center, keep in the center.
Alright.
Good job.
It's all about Indiana
The
Jones.
first step can be harder than the rest of the challenge.
Those dungeons that was like that had like a
Whoa, what's that crazy?
clear
What is
bridge
that
that
thing?
you had to walk
What
across.
is
and
that?
those
Wow.
like
I am
ice
Sauron.
catacombs.
That's where you were. Whoa, there's
Look
stuff
up,
going up now.
look up, look up.
Yeah,
Up,
that was
Yep.
yeah.
Jump.
There was an invisible bridge.
S.
Yeah.
E.
You had to know.
You
E.
had to know to walk across it.
Yeah.
See?
C? Something?
There was some kind of
Press
thing
S.
with,
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. Yeah, exactly.
T something.
S is not working.
Let's take it backwards.
S takes us backwards.
Try to go to that.
Oh!
You can't
Maybe
jump
I
in
can
the
go.
game, I know.
Oh, wait, go there and look down. I mean, up.
Oh, look up.
Way
Now
up.
walk. Oh.
Alright.
Nope.
Jump.
Can't
Yeah,
jump.
you're,
Yes,
you're
space,
upside
space,
down,
space
yo.
bar.
Can you try vomiting? What about vomiting? Have you tried that?
Yeah, exactly. We
Try
did
vomiting,
the
that's
nausea
true.
cam.
Maybe we need to go south then east. Maybe I can press 5.
Stare into the void until it stares back.
5. That's not fun. Alright. Back to walking.
It's kind of
Oh god.
Oh, weird.
That was exciting.
I've never had the patience for this shit.
This is the only game.
This is
This sure is a game full of game designer goes. Scooping his way out.
You would restart the game from the
I think you
beginning.
broke it all.
I think I made it a little bit into the post reset.
Okay, so this game is kind of Cactus's wet dream.
Yes. Oh.
Not enough pink.
Yeah, it needs more pink.
But given the fact that Cactus is probably on many of the judging panels. That
Yes, exactly.
Oh god, what was that PS3 game?
Portal.
No. Portal 2. No.
Yes. Oh, Echochrome? Are you thinking of
Kim
Echochrome?
Possible?
Yes.
Yeah, Echochrome.
Echochrome.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
I messed up your hair.
so I can't get
was
over this.
angry.
That's good.
Actually, that's I've been thinking about it because every time I hear about Antichamber, somebody's like, "Oh yeah, the MC Escher game." And I'm like, no,
Oh!
this is Escher-esque if it's anything.
Actually, there was another MC Escher game that just got released today. I think it's called The Bridge.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That's,
it looked
but that's all like
Okay, I
pencil
declare a
drawing.
genre.
Yeah.
Critical mass.
There you go.
Alright.
It's like
So that was exciting.
Chase is very proud of you right now.
I played The Room on the iPad. That's I don't know if that counts.
7.
So I totally walked through that wall. That was rad.
I wanted to do like have you read The Yellow Wallpaper?
Yes.
I wanted to do like
Wow, that
Wow!
yes.
Yes, I have.
every word.
And I feel
I would love to do like an escape, like a room, like an escape game based on Yellow Wallpaper, where you just have to go insane in order to like, and it's like.
She's like, I'm there.
It's just like patriarchy. Like,
now, yes.
Find yourself in a room.
I think there was something on the wall.
Green
There was a
thingy.
message in the wall in the room that you came from.
Uh-oh.
Really?
There's a one-way door? Oh, nice.
That's evil.
Path of least resistance is a valid option.
Wait, step away from the keyboard. That's what's happening.
Hands up.
Come back 2 days later. You're at the end of the game.
The only winning move is.
It's on YouTube then.
Click it.
There's a weird yellow thing.
There is.
Did you guys see the PlayStation
Urine
4
stain on the
announce?
corner of the
They're
wall.
putting a lot of
Oh,
emphasis
yeah.
on you can go find out how to beat the thing you're stuck on instantly without leaving
Oh,
the game.
wow.
You see all the video and live streaming with chat?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
very
that.
interesting.
So it's a
Very cool.
I saw an entire Twitter user base in a hurry to tell everyone that they didn't care about the PS4 announcement.
Oh, really?
There was so much conspicuous
Really?
disinterest
Yeah.
that really got on my nerves. because I
Super
don't like
performative.
I don't
disinterest.
like conspicuous disinterest.
Yeah. Let me make sure I'm.
It is
as-
only
me
there.
not
It is
caring
only
enough,
there
yeah.
to draw borders, right? It is only there to
Wow.
say what is important.
What? So what's the?
Well, that was weird.
it
What's
may
the,
be.
what kind of people were drawing that border? Because I didn't see that, so I clearly don't know. Those
jerks.
Maybe it's in the relationships away.
I don't know. No, a lot of cool people. Yeah, kinda. I mean,
Right. It's.
I don't want to use the word hipster because that word has been diluted to pointlessness. Right?
Well, the
But-
brainy gamer response was, "Who cares?"
Oh, okay, really.
And I'm
More
like,
polygons. What difference does
Oh.
that make? And so I didn't
well,
see
not even
polygons
that,
at all.
right? To me, there's a difference between
No, I know what you mean.
the content
Yeah.
is bad and you're a fool for even caring about the
No.
content.
Well, I
That's
yeah.
Turn around and go up
that's
again.
what got on my
Well,
nerves.
Starts again and see if you can drop down into the.
Yumogos' piece that was in the Atlantic today.
Yeah.
What was
Yeah.
it?
See if you can force that down.
I mean, mostly I felt like was on.
Nah.
It's talking about kind of the force and march
better.
of innovation and how you gotta.
But you see what it mean, right?
That innovative as it is iterative, but you have to come on and make it this cultural event where you're performing innovation on the stage the way that Steve Jobs used to. And I
Yeah.
kind of got that, but then
Yeah.
there's this very cheap eye rolling that happens where he's like, and then somebody came on to tell us
Turns out.
about how the
It does
finer
seem to
grain
depress
on
when
the
you walk
leather
on it. Maybe you can
upholstery
jump up and
textures
down.
in this racing
Oh, yeah,
book is going to give you a better racing game experience.
Oh,
And then
so
David
you're a
Cage
genius.
came on to talk about how the more polygons in the space is going to give you a better gameplay experience. And I call that cheap eye rolling because the only reason that they're couching their graphics innovation in terms of this will bring you better gameplay
you want to time it
is
when
because
it
they
hits the
know
top
there's
of
people like Ian Bogos
Yeah.
who will fillet them the graphics and say, we're making better graphics because the graphics are better. Peace out, mic drop. Like nobody can get away with that.
Wait, hang on. I just want to mess with this thing.
And then
There's stuff going on.
So whoa.
Was it 34%?
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
I would like some people to just admit that things being pretty is fine.
I'm that guy.
I'm totally there. I'm totally there. I just got a really good gaming PC for the first time ever, and I'm like,
I know. I just like
this makes
the
a
only
difference.
good thing about my computer dying is that my replacement is running Guild Wars 2 at the shiniest settings, and
it's
holy shit, this game is gorgeous.
It's a gorgeous game.
That's hilarious.
I mean, I've always thought there's a political dimension to writing a thesis about set pieces. Like, that's not necessarily something that's frictionless in the academy.
Right.
And there have been people who have asked me, like, why? That's the opposite of what you should be interested in. It's like,
Every
there,
time-
that right there is why I'm doing it.
Every time somebody tells me I shouldn't care about graphics, I feel like it's one more penny in the savior discourse jar, right? Where games will save us.
Right.
For reals.
For reals, guys.
All we have to
Or
do
like
is
you
not
take-
care about
Not if Owen
anything
is
that
at the
people want us to
Like
care
you're some kind
about.
of Philistine because you don't care as much about like the purity of the play if you're focused on the graphics. Bullshit.
And this is why I'm never afraid.
Hey, Philip, what was that thing that we were jumping on?
So much feminist cred that Bayonetta is my favorite game.
Oh, is it? I don't know.
Of like of all time.
Is that right?
Facing it wrong.
Why does it cost you feminist cred? I don't know enough to know why.
Her body is an S curve. That's probably the.
Oh, is she the one with that crazy long hair that flows in the wind?
That is her outfit.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
You've never played Bayonetta?
No.
High heel revolvers.
She's a.
Oh no.
She has guns on her
Paying
feet.
attention, you will miss everything around you.
But she's.
What are we paying
But
attention to?
okay. I've made
Everything.
this argument like a zillion times, so I've got this down. She's really more of a drag queen than an actual. I don't think she's actually supposed to be a sexually available woman. Like, and when I get around to reproducing the blog post I did, I'm comparing it to Lollipop Chainsaw, right? The difference I had between the two. Sorry, internet, you're getting this like a month and a half in advance.
Bonus content.
Yeah. But the deal was like with Lollipop Chainsaw. I felt like she was not self-aware. Like, she was sexually available and supposed to be sexually available to the consumer. But Bayonetta is sexual but not available, right?
Red.
She is dominant and in control, and her sexuality is dangerous and scary and has the promise of pleasure for her and pain for you, right? And so it's very much a like, she's not there for you, she's there for her. You just happen to be there.
That was Helen's point. About,
Helen Kennedy.
Yeah, in Laura Croft as like feminist icon or cyber bimbo, where she says basically Laura is such a ball busting ice queen that like any kind of male identification with her is in the context of drag as opposed to in the context of sexual conquest.
Interesting.
Which is interesting when you look at the latest Tomb Raider game, right, where she's like sexually assaulted, and this is the way we humanize her. It's by like
Not even about humanizing. They're like, this is the way that we motivate our male player base to want to protect.
Which is really interesting, right? Because like for the first time, I think in discourse about avatars, you have. You know, there's always been like, is it playing with or playing as? This is like playing for. This is like some kind of chivalry that like, and it's done through rape.
Yeah,
fantastic.
The best part was when it was first really called rape in that one trailer, and then Crystal Dynamics turned around and they're like, whoa, 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 it's not rape. And then Kotaku, which I'm like this on Kotaku, but they did a brilliant moment where they put in that quote and then they linked the video. Where it's clearly sexual assault, right? Yeah. The one that they just showed us.
And that was funny, like in the larger kind of political context of, you know, Mitt Romney's.
I've noticed on Deadspin and Kotaku, they have I mean,
something just disappeared.
These are not their staff writers; these are like invited guests.
But where? Or did it
really
up here?
nice kind of identity and like.
Meanwhile, Owen's still playing.
Of course he is.
I'm enjoying
They seem to have like a
Philip's behind me.
loosely defined feature every week on each of their sites, so it's kind of like somebody's going to weigh in on an identity topic, and they've been comment blocking those. For the
So
last few
when
weeks.
you have like 2 minutes
Which
to
makes
win
it
it for
worthwhile
us.
to actually go read and not be like,
Yeah, that's gonna happen.
I'm torn. Like, I don't. I'm one of those people where like I understand the whole point of the don't read the comments Twitter.
Each
right,
time you through the window,
tweets
like when you look at, there's multiple windows here, right? Does it actually look the same?
Well, they're
time?
interesting data. Well, comments are interesting data points.
And just because they're assholes doesn't mean they're not real
But
people.
I also think, I don't know about Kotaku, I noticed...
Maybe? It's not valuable in some context. It's usually that if you're the author of that piece and...
But something just changed
like,
color too.
Right.
Like, you will probably find it triggering or harmful.
Yeah, don't find your self-worth as an author.
Kotaku did a story on Enclosed World when it came out.
Yeah.
And the hilarious thing, here's what happened when that happened. One of the team members who was in Singapore sends an email at 6:45 in the morning that was the phrase "holy shit" in all caps repeated 42 times, and that was it. No, wrong. That, and then Kotaku. That was the entirety of the email. And then I read the story, and I'm like, I tweet as I'm getting dressed to leave the apartment to go to work. I'm like, so Kotaku did a story about our game. 15 people immediately reply, don't read the comments.
Yep. I don't know, it was funny because when that esports piece came out a couple of weeks ago, it was really actually interesting to watch comments over time because I've said to a few people, I was really heartened by the way the esports community on Reddit in particular responded, like, to the sexism stuff.
This is the PBS?
And, yeah, the PBS, the off-book thing. And then the comments, as I kept checking them, the long tail of the comments became distressing. But not distressing, I actually didn't care. But, you know, you could see the change over time in the comments, and actually, it was actually great to read the comments in the beginning, because I thought it was pretty good. I was like, actually, there's a lot of men here who are identifying themselves as sort of allies, and like, so it's,
here they've gotten a little bit better at moderating, and like
in
the featured tends to be a little bit more balanced. The problem
It
with
also
that though
in the
is that
StarCraft
it's still usually
remake,
the comment that gets the 50 replies being like you're completely wrong and here's why. It's the problematic comment that gets bumped up to the top. And then you have to reveal all of the criticism.
How was I able to go back?
I don't know, like,
I think it's a one-way path.
Media Network redid their comments, so only show like the
Oh, you can walk up and jump back down.
They were just like,
bullshit flows.
They haven't figured
yeah, I mean, the whole like star commenting system is kind of weird to start with, but at least you could see like all of the comments very easily. Now you can.
Right.
You can like categorize them.
it's an interesting point that sort of reading the comments is probably not a useful blanket. Because actually on different sites and different systems it may actually work.
Right.
Yeah, especially, I mean, if they're like having moderation policies, or even if the person who owns the site or like,
I've tried to click on so many things, and
and also if you're a member of the site,
have yet to
you
find
set your
anything which is
threshold
actually
to X,
clickable
right?
on
I mean,
the sites.
Yeah.
Like,
Also,
I'd be
sometimes
very
we're
inclined to
all
read
the
the
way down.
comments on something like the Border House.
All the
As
yeah,
opposed
but I mean,
to
it's
like
like a
Reddit where they just
self-selected-
open the hell gate.
Mysterious Yellowstone.
Right. Just walk straight through
but
that.
again, like Reddit's complicated because, like, in some of those, like when I looked at the League of Legends comments thread on the PBS thing, it was different than the StarCraft 2 comments thread, which was different than the esports comments thread. There's actually even within those three communities a range of
There's a standard of conduct on Reddit. It might not be one that everyone approves of, but
Jump
there is
down.
a social.
Do you think it holds across
conduct.
all subreddits? I don't know if it holds across
I think
subreddits.
there's
I don't think so
I think there's
either.
subreddits that conceive of themselves as being oppositional subreddits.
Yeah.
But I think they certainly understand kind of the ground upon which
Interesting.
there's kind of a. I mean, actually, when I was watching
Life has a
the
way of
off-book
pushing
video
us
that went
along.
up with you, I
Does
discovered
have a
they
way
had
of
one
pushing
on the
us along.
culture of Reddit a couple of weeks ago.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Whoa, it's like a museum.
I think there is
It
a
is.
culture.
Oh my god.
It's an interesting question. It's
Go
one
into
that
the
I
blue.
mull over a lot,
I don't want to give up my belief that Reddit is the source of all darkness. That's
Well,
Yeah.
it definitely has nasty
I've never wanted
dark.
Although
account.
I have to tell you,
And then there's like an MIT subreddit that's fairly innocuous and not
it's
much traffic.
radically
It's-
changed since its inception.
yeah,
as
definitely.
well.
You
Something people say a
can't
lot.
generalize
No.
Reddit anymore. I mean, maybe you could have when it first started, but definitely not anymore. But like, when that one Reddit went out about StarCraft 2 and the karma system and not asking people for upvotes in your stream,
That was interesting.
I laughed so
That was so
hard.
interesting. Yeah, that was really.
No, all of Reddit does that.
It was
I know. I was like,
bizarre.
if you're gonna tell me that upvotes are not a form of currency and have been on Reddit for some time now,
They just
you've
don't
got
want you to sell this. Yeah.
your head is so deep in the sand. You are approaching the molten core of our planet at this point.
Yeah.
I listened to this podcast with Steven Totilo from Kotaku a couple of weeks ago, and he was being so self-congratulatory about, like, you should see all the features we've run on identity, on expanding, you know, women in games and gay representation in games.
You should see all of the stories Patricia Hernandez.
I was like, you should see the comments. and he was talking about, you know, I think we're getting a reputation for being the place that's a forum for these discussions and has the audience. And I'm like, your audience, whatever you may be doing, might be coming from the right place, but clearly it's not sinking in with your audience.
I know. It's like that's a really interesting point, though. Actually, like how
there's nothing but bitch about those stories.
We're just going through the same thing. Oh my god, it's different.
Yeah, they won't take their medicine. Like, and it's whatever's being. And the problem is that it's always delivered as medicine. It's these polemic essays.
But why does that audience keep going back there? I don't actually read Kotaku enough to know what the.
But the audience isn't the same as the comments, right?
Like, the audience is certainly larger than the commenting audience.
Which one's?
But there is something in the infrastructure of the Gawker network that really amplifies voices and makes them something like pseudo-publishing.
That's fair.
They're gossip. Like, Gawker Media is a gossip site, and they're very good
that only
at
moves
getting the
when you
gossip
move it.
fast.
But do you think the people who are reading Kotaku identify themselves as Gawker readers?
Not really.
I wouldn't imagine they
There
do.
is, though, I mean, there is a fair amount of crossover. Like, Jezebel cross-posts, Kotaku posts sometimes, like, Deadspin will cross-post. Like, there's cross-posting in ways, and you can tell really distinctly
when it is,
the readership.
There's other, like
do I want to harass this thing all the way around the room?
I think you're pushing it along.
Yeah.
This whole, like,
Life is a way of pushing things along.
Yeah.
But
Pushing things
Kotaku
along.
itself is...
Yeah.
It's, I mean, it's one of those where the tone has shifted, in part due to hiring Patricia. Like, that was like, okay.
But then there was that blog post Brenda did yesterday that I thought was actually pretty cogent, right?
Yeah.
About the stories as storyfies. Although, again, that gets me kind of like, I have this legendary aversion to IRBs who are like, you should ask people for permission before you study their public blogs that are not locked in any way. And I'm like, no, I shouldn't.
Like, I actually kind of, I wrote like,
we just go in a circle?
to him, because I'm like, well, I
It goes like a big giant
helpful to me in my research, but I didn't treat it like journalism. It's because it's an archive, it's not a news article. Well, it depends on how you contextualize it.
I agree with him that a story that is basically just a collection of tweets with no comments on context or events or interpretation of what's going on is not journalism. It's
So
just
now we've harassed this poor cube all the way around the room.
Yeah, but, I mean...
Oh my god!
Where'd it go?
Philip! What are we doing?
Chase it!
Philip, you broke
Find it!
Oh, great!
No! Whoa!
So I
Backwards.
Yeah.
You showed that, Stargate.
Suck it.
I hate to say it, but I think our time.
Yeah, we got
Yep.
it.
Okay.
Yeah, you can.
Any thoughts about it?
No, I have no thoughts about this game. Certainly less than when I started.
You're Australian, Owen. What gives?
Yeah.
Oh no, he's leaning back in a.
Get around.
Get around.
I just got the strong impression of a game designer going, sucker player! And I think that's the point of the game.
Yeah. Nice.
Also, I can write sweet shaders. Check it out.
Yeah. But not sweet anti-aliasers.
No.
This game needs them.
Well, I mean, if it's trying to demonstrate that it's a plane, right? It's not actually a 3D space that you're moving through. It's this thing that's being cast onto this flat 3D plane, and all of this dithering that you're seeing is just an element of that.
I kind of want to see it be made out of like Little Big Planet materials, though. You know, like cardboard and styrofoam and stickers of old bands.
But you see, the thing is that, but if you did that, then it's like you'll be just paying attention to what these things are being made of, right? But it's like this is not, but sort of like trying to pay attention to the rules of how the space, the optical rules that this operates.
Yeah.
All I know is I'm actually kind of nauseous.
Yeah, exactly. I was looking at
Well, once you got to the room full of shifting 3D perspective with lots of bright colors, I was like, yep! Let's talk to yell about something. She's
Yeah, exactly.
I can't see anything out of my periphery.
We'll just pretend something
When
interesting.
Dave got taken by
Thank
the
you for
Jupiter
playing.
people, that's what he got stuck into.
But it's like definitely a game which is a lot about messing with the player's expectations and spectacle of various kinds. And
the spectacle of failure.
The spectacle of failure.
Like imagine watching a speed run of this, you would get none of this.
But actually, it lets you get back to where you were really easy. You just tap escape and get back here again.
I
Really
hate
allows you to replay.
Let's Play videos because I just want to see gameplay. I don't want to hear some jerk ass talk about gameplay, especially because they're usually like, well, I'm playing 20-minute pause. This game, 5-minute pause. But I would love to watch a Let's Play of this because it would just be some angry guy going, fuck! Like over and over and over again.
That'd be very entertaining.
We should do it.
Dial up the Schadenfreude meter just massively.
Well, thank you very much for coming, and
Thanks, Philip.
Thank you, Philip. Yeah.
Thank you.